Yo, DJ!
Are you done mixing yet?
You're the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Check, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops, then find to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Therriault's kids. D-Phase. Yeah. Moseby St. Yeah. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing on them. Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Yo, DJ!
Are you done mixing yet?
You're deep.
Be cute, little old school, little Sam. Chick. Look. Black Sun. Too easy. Gotta keep it pimpin'. Look. Chick. Drop a deuce in my armor palmer. Now I'm moving slow like your mama's mama. Vega full of that marijuana. I'm in full effect, it's no cause for drama. Presidential, my weed, man. You think my kush, man, was Barack Obama. Swing around, niggas flag me down. I need a couple grands when they see my Honda. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown Royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Disapprove of my tennis shoes. Now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Want them J's, I'ma go online. I don't wait in line, I ain't the type of dude. Dressed fresh like Steve Harvey, rolling Bob Marley, watching Family Feud. Reading a book on Marcus Garvey, might tell you something that you never knew. Fuck the judge in McLennan County, 31 weeks, I had the county blues. Shout out to my Uncle Bubba, had the box Caprice and it was candy blue. The other week I saw a blue Ferrari, was a white boy, it drove right by me. Told myself when my album drop, I swear the whole world gon' know about me. 25 from the east side and got my mindset on the red Audi. Dropping paper like Waco trips, where my Waco niggas gon' read about it. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. Say I been there, I done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this. On 35 and this 420, fresh out of jail, about to roll a L. First blunt of the fucking day and it's 10 o'clock and I'm mad as hell. Got work at midnight, so I ignite and I take sail. Can't survive off what I scribe in my government job, it pays well. On the highway in an old mood, jamming old school, I'm just an old dude in a young body. Finna knock down this little young hottie, cooking soul food, I'm so smooth. Silk drawers couldn't fuck with me. She blowin' my pop, but I'm sucker free. You paying for the drop, but I fuck for free. Lucky me. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. Say I been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit.
You're gonna dig this.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show, Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered a leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
You that just I don't know what it is about them drums and the beat and the soulful. It just don't get old to me. It really don't get old to me. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's off script. You watching with your boy Scotty and you watching me live, baby. That's what we do it. All right, man. Appreciate you guys. Listen, you know what it is. Today is a JSU day, so I had to go with the JSU bandwagon hat. You see it. Bucket it's on, it's official. We here. Listen, before I get to my very, very special guest, I want to do a quick announcement. I am doing a live show right after interview about the Shador interview. It's been making waves on all the little Facebook media posts and the little clip and snippets. So we're going to get and talk about that right after the interview. Give me about 5-10 minutes. We're going to jump right into that. All right. But today, listen. So I'll be getting these young legends. I had Javancy Jones, you know what I'm saying? Now I got my man Casey. Listen, you want the best. I go get the best. I get these studs. I get these ballers. I call it the Young Legend series. And nobody did it in a 2-year time frame other than Devontae Kincaid better than my man right here. Okay, let's in JSU, nobody. Let's just say that what it is. Nobody's coming close to the numbers, the stats, the accolades. No. All right. So please, when I tell you, please give it up for my special guest today, Casey the White Tiger. What is going on, my guy? What's going on with you?
What's going on? Good to be here.
Man, I appreciate you for taking the time. Reached out to you, said, let's do it. I was too geeked. You know what I'm saying? It was a great opportunity, and I appreciate you for coming on. How's your week been going?
My week's been going good. You know, just another casual week. Yours?
Oh, man, listen.
Sounds big.
It's getting better. It's getting better. I'm telling you, the weekend's getting better. It's getting better.
There you go.
All right, so listen, we're going to get right into it, but I know you probably haven't seen any interview before. I don't know if you ever, follow, go ahead and subscribe right now. But but I like to start every interview with a little start bench cut.
Okay.
All right. But I saw your games. I seen your film. You're a gunslinger. So I did a gunslinger edition. Okay? I did a gunslinger edition. Not the little basic quarterback. Now we not doing that. Now we going to do it special. All right. So I'm going to bring this up and we're going to start bench cut. Special edition, gunslinger edition. All right. Now, for people who don't know who's on this list, I got Tony Romo, I got Brett Favre, and I got Patrick Mahomes. It's on you, Casey. Go ahead. Start bench cut.
I start Patrick Mahomes. I bench Tony Romo and I cut Brett Favre.
Oh, my man Tony got on the team. Let's go. You got to explain this, please, and thank you.
Now, don't get mad at me, Mississippi, for cutting Brett Favre. But listen, I feel like Brett Favre is not able to sit on the bench. I feel like he's going to be too mad about being on the bench. So I might as well cut him off the whole team. I think Tony's going to be a great guy about it. I think he's going to help Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to help him get better, succeed. He's going to win some championships. And I think Tony Romo is going to be the guy that'll be on the bench that'll just help Patrick be better. I think Brett's going to be a little bitter about it. So we're just going to have to cut him.
Listen, I don't care what you would have said. As long as Tony Romo make the team, I am so geeked right now. Like, I'm telling you. Oh, man. So I got some comments. They said, starting Mahomes. Lawrence said, oh, no. Derek White said, cut Romo. And Blue Blood says, over Favre. Like, yeah, over Favre. Listen, you know what? I knew something was going to go right about this interview, and it's starting off right now. We'll talk about. All right, appreciate, man. That just made, when I tell you that just made my day, bro, that just really made my day. All right, so let's get to. Go ahead. Talk to.
I was gonna say, see, people need to understand. Tony Romo has a deep understanding of the game of football. Brett Favre was the true definition of a gunslinger. He drops back. And what he's going with. That's why he threw 420 interceptions. But at the end of the day, you want a guy on the bench that knows a lot about football. You got to go with Tony Romo. People need to understand Tony Romo knows the game of football. Whether you thought he was great at playing the game of football, we're talking about someone to sit on the bench. That's Tony Romo.
See, that's some next level thinking right there. You know, that's like, listen, I don't really cut a lot of clips off my interviews, but best believe this is getting clipped. And I'm reposting. All those haters out there who hating on my man number 9. Let's go. Man, let's make my day. All right, let's get into these questions. Your favorite athlete?
Ironically, of all time, it was Deion Sanders. Of all time, it was Deion Sanders. I just felt like to juggle 2 sports the way he did and to play offense and defense at the highest level of the game, it was just something, obviously when I was a kid, I just thought it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And he transcended the game, just the way he presented himself. I don't present myself as a quarterback like that, but there was something about his energy that was just like, to have that level of confidence, it's just come out like you own the world, like you own the stadium. Being a kid in college all the way through the end of his career, coming back, So that was it was Deion Sanders.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What is the last movie you watched?
The last movie I watched, the last show I watched was finished Snowfall. The last movie I watched was.
I'll take the show.
I don't know.
I'll take
the last show I finished was Snowfall.
Snowfall's
the problem
legit.
With these shows nowadays, you just don't watch movies as much.
That's what's up. Your favorite song and artist right now?
My favorite song right now, so many. Probably J. Cole's Intro, and that's what I'm listening to the most. So J. Cole and J. Cole's newest intro off his album.
Okay. Let me get back to I got some people in here. Let me see what I got. Somebody said Casey looking like Craig David and Robin Thicke had a baby. That is what's y'all are wildin'. Y'all are wildin'. Somebody said that's my quarterback. That's what's up.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. Your favorite spot in Jackson?
I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I feel like when I was there, it was a little hole in the wall spot that was right outside the university. I can't remember the name. You just get like a no. You just get like a big tray, and I used to get like the chicken and rice.
Listen, so I got some comments coming in. I got somebody said Stamp, somebody said Boston's, somebody said 900.
Right
Boston's. Okay, yeah. Boston's. All right, because hey, they was gonna hit you up. They were gonna say all of them.
They had to get it out of me.
Your favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday, I think is probably Halloween. I love the family time during Christmas, but I don't know. I just like Halloween. I just like getting into it. I like dressing up. I like just being stupid for a day. I like, making the treats that come along with it. You can pretty much bake anything you want that day, and everyone's okay with it. So I would have to say Halloween. I also like the weather during Halloween more too. So that's just like, with the trees changing colors, it's just like a nice day. And so Halloween.
It's that fall, that autumn season. Yeah,
exactly.
Now, if money was not an option, what would you buy?
What would I buy if money was not? Probably an island.
An island. You the second person that said that.
Person. I mean, why not have an island, right?
Yeah, get your own spot.
Your own island.
All right, this is one of my favorite questions, though. Any pregame routines or rituals you had to do before a game?
The thing is, I was never a big pregame ritual guy. I never got there was one time in college where someone was complaining about their shoulder pads, and it's not like I practiced with a different pair or something. I just practiced with the same pair. So, spur of the moment, it was maybe like an hour before the game. I was like, well, you want to switch shoulder pads before the game? And they're like, but you can't just switch shoulder pads before the game. Like, it's not like you need to have a system and know how the shoulder pads work. And I was just like, it just never occurred to me that like, people are so superstitious and in like a rhythm that makes them feel comfortable before these big moments. But I felt like my comfortability came of just not having the same thing happening, the same kind of setup every week. Because then if something goes wrong in that week where you can't do that, now you're in your own head thinking, oh shit, am I going to play good? Like, how's this going to go? Because I didn't get to do all the ritual things that I normally do. So for me, it was just like, I don't want none of that. If I switch it up on the spot, then I'm still comfortable going in and being able to being able to perform my way. So no, I never really had no ritual before games.
That's okay. That's you probably you're the only one that's ever said that. Like that's in having that different mindset. That's pretty cool. That's dope. Mm-hmm. Now, who got you into football?
Well, I think just growing up around my dad always playing, and then one of my older brothers just playing. Just I think within within my family, it was so competitive. I just saw like, my dad was really good. My brother was doing well. So it just happened. I started playing when I was like 5. So it was something where that was my biggest motivation too, just to be better than everyone that was it was kind of like that internal, that inside the family competitiveness, that it was like, I'm gonna be better than everyone inside my family first, and then it just kind of went from there.
That's what's up. Okay. Now, when did you know you were a quarterback? Like, did you okay? Like, I like to kind of give an example. Like Archie Manny's grandson. Like, he's just been playing quarterback. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of players, they start off running backs, receivers. When did you know, like, hey, this is me?
Yeah, so it happened when I was young. I started playing when I was 5, and then when I was around like 7 or 8, my older brother was playing receiver, and my dad was he played D-back and receiver. So I told my coach at the time, I was like, hey, listen, like, I don't want to play quarterback. Everyone else in my family played like receiver or like safety or D-back. So I'm going to play receiver or D-back. So he went and told my parents, he's like, listen, Casey told me you want to play receiver. He's like, that's fine, but there's going to be nobody that's going to be able to throw him the ball. So he's going to have to drop back, throw the ball, and then go catch it himself if he wants to play receiver. So then I was just like, you know what? I guess I'll just stick to playing quarterback. And then I just ended up playing quarterback for the rest of my life.
I like that. That's definitely different. That is definitely different. All right. Now, let's take it back, right? High school football in Michigan. How was that in Grand Rapids? How was that? Like, I don't really hear too many people coming out of Grand Rapids.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially not football players. So that was, it was really all I knew as like a high school kid, but it was cool. I mean, it was, it's not as glorified and big, and, you don't really get away with as many things as like, I know bigger places in the country when it comes to high school football and stuff. Even if you are good, teachers really, they don't really care. They don't care that you have to spend so much time outside of class, perfecting your craft and putting a lot of time towards the sport that you love. So you don't get a lot of benefits as far as like people understanding or caring that you even play football. And I came to find that out as I kind of got it. And then when I got to Jackson State, I really found out that like people really care that you do well for the program and you are dedicated to your craft and playing football. So yeah, playing high school football, I didn't really get to experience any of that. And it was just kind of like, whatever, you just kind of play football for a high school team, and that's that.
Okay. Now, after your time away, you go to Grand Rapids Community College. You had 1 year to do work. What was your mindset going into that 1 year at Grand Rapids?
Yeah, that was like my second chance. That was my chance at redemption, my first chance at redemption. And my mentality was just never take any single moment for granted. And once everything was kind of taken from me, that was a lot easier for me to have that mentality. And it's not always easy to have that mentality or keep that level of perspective, because we do kind of get caught up in ourselves and these kind of things. But it was so fresh for me at that moment that it was just so easy for me just to handle my business, do what I needed to do, and be completely and utterly happy with it every second I was doing it. And I had never 1 second of complaint during that moment of getting back on track and playing football, going back to school, because it was literally like the best feeling in the world. I didn't care where I was.
He said it could have been a 10 bucks. I'm playing football.
Yeah.
Now, this next section, Casey, is called Who Is, right? We're doing a Jackson State Who Is edition. I'm going to ask you a question. It could be you. It could be any of your teammates during your time at Jackson State. All right. Mm-hmm. Who was the fastest on the team?
It was either BJ Lee or Rico Richardson.
All right. Who talked the most trash on the team?
Donovan.
All right. Now, on that same team, who would you take to a fight?
My best friend, Rennie Rollins.
Mm-hmm. Any particular reason why he just got your back? That's my guy.
I just feel like we would be like that scene in Rush Hour when he's like, I go this way, you go that way, and it would just be like we was always on the same page. Yeah.
All right. Do you have a sister?
I don't. No.
Okay, great. This is a great question then. If you had a sister, who on the team would you let her date?
Oh man. Dedrick McDonald.
Dedrick McDonald, shout out, man. You are Mr. Respectable. You are Mr. Respectable. I always like to ask that question just to see who they think is a respectable young man off that team.
I gotta go with another quarterback.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right, now going back to the leaving Grand Rapids, you had no offers, correct?
Correct.
So how did you and Rick Comedy link? How was that conversation like? How did that go down?
Yeah, that was a process, because obviously every person who called me based on like national rankings and what I was doing compared to the other quarterbacks in the country, and just like, you know, our team was nationally ranked in like the top 3. So I got a lot of phone calls, but once it found out what the PR was going to be, there was a lot of people who just turned it down and said, sorry, like that's not for us. So when Jackson State called, did I get really excited about it? No, because it was the same kind of conversation. I was like, yeah, okay, you're going to call me back. Sure. And then they called me back, and then they called me back. And then later I came to find out, after speaking with Coach Comedy, it was probably after the 3rd or 4th time that I had spoke with a coach, you know, like a Greg Ruffin or Coach Hayes, that had kind of reached out and kind of, progressed the process of more than I've experienced up to that point. So I talked to Coach Comedy probably like the 3rd or 4th call, and there was just so many things that they were doing kind of behind the scenes to get me, not to commit, because I was going to probably commit regardless, but to get me cleared to commit.
Okay, cleared. Okay.
Yeah, and comfortable, because they brought me for a visit and did all these things that I didn't really necessarily need to do, because, you know, I could have went and sat in a hotel room pretty much the entire time, and that was my decision, because it was my only option to go and play. It was the only team that gave me the opportunity to continue my career. So of course I was going to take that opportunity and run with it. But it was probably like the 3rd or 4th call with Coach Comedy, and it was good to hear from him as far as being like the head coach and just telling him that he really wanted me and he didn't care what happened, if I was yellow or purple, or if I had done this or done that, or he believed in me and he wanted to talk to me to find out himself. So yeah, that was it was just kind of like solidified the deal for me. Now I was excited to move forward.
That's what's up. Now, did you know anything about the SWAC before the call?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. I mean, they literally, like, the coaches literally told me, like, Walter Payton went here, and I was like, okay. And I still had no idea. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? And then my education started from that moment on.
That is what's up. That's what's up. Now, when you got all things situated, you get cleared, you get comfortable. Any nerves in thinking about going to an HBCU, or was it just football? Like, I'm just here to play football.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had no nerves as far as any of that was concerned, because my mindset was just playing football. I mean, any situation you go to play football, really, I didn't know that the experience would be as big as it was, and you know, and as opening as it was through the game of football, because, you know, you've been to big football games, you've seen big moments, and you played football your whole life. So that wasn't, in my mind, it wasn't going to be that much different for me, because it was just football and that's all I cared about. And then, you know, obviously the whole experience gives you things that you could never have expected otherwise. You can't make that shit up in your head that was like, oh, I'm going to experience this and this because I'm so, you know, I'm so known on this type of experience, because I wasn't at all. So, like, I didn't even know what to expect. I was just focused on playing football.
You know, and you went to my next question. I said you touched down on campus and how was the college experience, and you know, you pretty much go to. So let's get. So you touched down in Jackson State in 2010, and I mean, you only go 8-3, 3,600 yards, 41 touchdowns, win SWAC newcomer of the year, first team all SWAC. Talk about the season. Talk about the experience. How was all that?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Obviously, like I experienced as much as hopefully everybody told me and expressed to me that I brought to, you know, that JSU football that everybody loved in the years past. And it just meant a lot. And to do the things I did my first year, obviously I kind of put a target on myself going into my senior year, which I was completely happy and fine with, because it motivated me going into my senior year. Just to do the things that I wanted to accomplish that I didn't get to. my junior year. And as far as our team, we kind of put the SWAC on their heels a little bit because we came from a Jackson State team that only won 3 games the year before. I got there, all the other guys got there, and we came collectively together with a couple new, people on coaching staff, Coach Wilson as the offensive coordinator. So, it was just a thing. I think it was one of those moments that it just came together for that year and the next year to follow, and all the pieces just kind of fit together perfectly like a puzzle, and we just did really well.
You hitting my questions right off the bat, because I said, when did you feel your teammates bought in and believed in you and your ability to lead? Because I feel as though when you're the star quarterback and you really have the talent, when everything is just vibing, like I know what he's gonna do. I know what he's gonna do. You just know it so well. So when did that start clicking? When did everything just click?
I would say literally like 2 weeks before our first game. So when camp kind of went underway, I had done nothing but just kind of take like a back seat to the guys who have been there. I just wanted to learn. I wanted to see how to maneuver, my way in and out of how just, things are done, how things are communicated. And at being at the university level, you have kind of like you kind of have like a pecking order, and you have the seniors, the seniors who start, the seniors who are considered the captains, and then the juniors who are considered like the 3-year guys. And so me just getting there along with all the other guys that transferred in, especially being a quarterback, and obviously you only get one quarterback to play at a time. So I felt like I needed to be led in order to lead. And I took a back seat, and I saw how people led, and I saw the way that I needed and wanted to lead. And it was eventually recognized, hopefully, by just being true to myself, but obviously what I was doing on the football field. And on the football field, in those moments, it's not like, these guys and my teammates aren't even my friends yet. So I wasn't trying to make friends on the football field. Outside of the football field, absolutely. But like, if I needed you to do something, I don't care how it came across. I needed it to come across like, this is what you need to do right now in this moment for us to be successful in this play. And I think that's just the way, like, he cares a lot about how successful we are. And I think that rubbed off. And then it was like, oh yeah, like we want Casey to lead. And then I was voted team captain, and that was really big for me.
Oh wow, first year voted team captain.
Yeah. So I mean that was a huge deal for me. And whether or not people think it gives you confidence or not, like they can say it doesn't, but really when your whole team votes and you've only been there for a couple weeks, not because I don't even think I was stated as the starting quarterback yet. I felt like me and Dedrick were competing. Our coaches let it ride out until literally 2 days before the game, and then he was like, Casey, you're starting. But so I think I was voted in that position before I was even announced a starter, which meant even more to me.
That's what's up. Now, 2010, you lose the Alabama State by 2 points. That keeps you out the SWAC championship. What happened? How did that game? Because everybody else, y'all was just mollywopping. So what about Alabama State kept you guys on your heels?
Yeah, kudos to Alabama State. They were kind of like my kryptonite while I was at Jackson State. I had the 2 worst games of my career against Alabama State. I don't know why or what was going on. It was just one of those things where just that game, every time that we just couldn't, I don't know, we just couldn't figure it out. It was just like miscommunication here and there, and then it was the aggressiveness that seemed like they were playing very, very, very passive in the secondary, but it wasn't. So it was just one of those things that we just couldn't figure out. And we had a couple mistakes. We had a couple late penalties that would have put us in a position to win those games. It was just ugly for us. It was ugly for me against Alabama State. Honestly, my junior and senior year against Alabama State, it was just bad for me. Like I said, they were kind of like my kryptonite while I was there. But yeah, obviously when going to the SWAC championship would have been great my first year there, because my second year there, we were disqualified from playing in that game. So it didn't matter what we did during the season, but obviously we still went out there and wanted to beat everybody and do our thing. So yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, 2011 revenge tour. You know what I'm saying? You just come back. You set 3 JSU season records, passes completed, passing yards, total offense, pass for, and then you do the game that everybody still talks about to this day, the career high 539 against Alcorn State, 51-7. Tell me about the game.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that game, not because it was Alcorn, not only because it was Alcorn, obviously because it was Alcorn, and there's just that certain level of I'm not going to say hate, but almost like a level of hate for them.
Yeah.
And I got hurt the year before, so it was a revenge game for me because I felt like I was on my way to doing all those things. My junior season in that game, I think it was 3 or 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, or maybe going into the second quarter. I was diving for another touchdown, and then I broke my collarbone. So yeah, that was for me. Not only was that my last game ever at Jackson State, that was enough motivation anyway. But it was, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do all the things that I wasn't able to finish. And it was just fun, and it was fun to beat them as badly as we did. And mind you, that was all done in 3 quarters because I sat out the 4th quarter. So.
What? 3 quarters?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was it right there.
Having hundo on them boys. Oh my goodness. Now listen. So this is what everybody came to talk about right here. This is what everybody came to talk about. Let me go ahead and bring this up. I need you to walk me through the game, your mindset, all that.
Even when they don't end in 6 points. This is
this is what everybody talks about this game. Everybody's been on my comments. Let's get to it. So you guys are up. Southern comes back. You know what I'm saying? You guys
yeah.
You guys do what you do. All right. So you guys go up, boom, hits you back. We up.
Game winning touchdown right there.
Yep.
Oh, nope.
Right here, they break. Boom. All right, so we get that. Now 19 seconds left. Now this is what you're okay. They score right here, 45-41. What is coach telling you? What are you telling your teammates? How are you leading in this moment?
Yeah, no, there wasn't much conversation. Honestly, at this moment, everyone's like throwing their helmets. The headsets are on the ground. People are leaving the stadium. I think at this point is when we started realizing that Southern fans were chanting to us, like, go home in our own stadium. So everything's happening. It looks like we're in the middle of just being slaughtered. Right, our sideline's a mess. People are basically just giving up. And then it was a little bit after this where me and my coach get together, and he's just like, all right, so what's going on? And we're just like, I said I got this, but like I didn't have it. I just felt like we were in a position to be okay because it wasn't really on us to do anything special. We had scored 2 game-winning touchdowns. So I think I just said, like, I got this. I got, like, an idea of what we can do. I don't feel much pressure. I don't think we should be freaking out. And that's really all I meant. And then we just go out and, did what we did.
And this is the part you talk about. Southern tells JSU to go home.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
All right. So I believe me go a little further. Okay, so 9 seconds left. This is the infamous play. What is called? Where are you looking at it? And what was because when I had one of these in high school, my quarterback straight up told me, I'm coming to you. He was like, I'm coming to you, make the catch. Literally. That's so what was your conversation with your team in this moment?
Yeah, so the play before this, we were in the same formation, and I hit my tight end Rennie over the middle, which got us to this point. So this was like a 35, 40-yard pass that I thought in my mind would have at least condensed their secondary deep towards the middle of the field. So I was like, listen, this has to be on their mind. He's my biggest target. He's my most sure hands. And I just hit him for 35 yards. And we only had to go like another 28, 30 yards anyway. So, and Rico, I knew he already had 2 touchdowns where he was just torching this dude that was guarding him. So, it was one of those moments where I was like, hey, listen, push this guy to the middle of the field, let's get my inside receiver to push that safety a little bit to the middle, and let's just leave Rico one-on-one because he's kind of been killing this guy already anyway. Rico has a lot going in his head, how he's been playing such a great game. So I was like, Rico, one way or another, it's going to be over the top. It's going to be a back shoulder. But I'm pretty much going to come to you because it should play out this way.
That's big time. So you pretty much Aaron Rodgers this play, just drew it up on the fly, and you just Aaron Rodgers did it. Hey, let's make it happen. And as they say, the rest is history.
Throws it. Wilder scores a touchdown.
It was not Wilder. It was not Wilder. It was definitely Rico.
That is what. And then I got, man, listen, so the comments are coming in heavy on this. Let me go back up real quick. They said the greatest game ever. Let me see. I got one that says he was the truth, JSU for life. Got another one said greatest game ever. Gotta watch this one. And then I got a Southern says I hate this clip.
I hate this clip. Yeah.
But
you know, the thing that really gets you fired up was the atmosphere of the game. And that was one of the things that I learned early on, just being in that experience. And like I said before, like you don't have a reason to dislike these people. And I actually just did an interview where I said this, but there was something that just the energy around it was like, you know, I hate these people. I hate this team. And I don't even know why yet. But after the game, it was just like, okay, now I know why this is such a heated rivalry, because before you even go in it, you hate it already.
That's real. That's real. Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and it gets you to do things like that. It just gets you to do things that just elevates your game to another level. And I gotta, you know, it's not just on me and my teammates that we did that. I gotta thank the Southern Jaguars for allowing me to do that.
If you don't think that's getting clipped, best believe it is. All right? Oh man, they might use it for the upcoming season. All right. Now, what grade would you give your career at JSU?
What grade? I mean, there's a lot of moments where I wish I would have been better. So I would give myself like a solid B. You know, like those moments against Alabama State. Losing to Grambling both times. You know, if I hadn't have lost both years to Alabama State and both years to Grambling, then I would have gave myself a higher grade. But it's just accepting that I lost to them, you know, both years. It doesn't sit well with me. But I make up for it in beating Tennessee State 2 times in a row, beating Southern 2 times in a row, and beating Alcorn 2 times in a row. So that's why I give myself a B.
Said I went undefeated against the rivals. Now, what advice would you give a kid looking at an HBCU but doesn't want to go?
I think you really got to understand that the experience is something that in any circumstance that if someone would have offered to me to go somewhere else or to go to the school of my dreams before then, you know, it's something that you don't even understand until you go, and every day is an experience. It's something that you can look back on and would have done over 1,000 times, no matter what the situation was, because, you know, it's really hard to explain. It's just the experience and the things you learn, and you can't think you can make up the situations in your head, because you really can't. You really have to go and experience it. And and like there's nothing I can take away from that I would want to give back. Like those are my experiences and my memories that I hold on for dear life for the rest of my life. And I know I couldn't have got that anywhere else.
That's what's up. I think a lot of alums and everybody would definitely talk about that and definitely appreciate your opinions on that. Now, the 2012 draft comes along. Did you think you would be drafted?
I mean, athletically, I think I did everything that I needed to be drafted. But the world of sports and football and NFL is obviously very political. And it started before me. It'll go on after me. But because of that, you know, being a quarterback, you are the most highlighted position in the game, and everyone's stories matter. And I felt like there was doubt in me that the NFL was going to happen, you know, just because of how hard it was just to get into a college. Now it's the NFL. So yeah, I felt like I had no regrets as a player, but I knew there was going to be something that might have held me back from getting to the NFL. My story holding me back from getting to the NFL, just because a quarterback's never been in that position that went to the NFL, and there was never been a story where I'm like, oh yeah, no, this kid got into some pretty heavy shit when he was younger, and he still made it to the NFL as a quarterback, and they just went along with it. Like, that's never happened. So did I think maybe I could be the first one? Yeah, maybe, but there was kind of like, I did have reservations saying like, listen, the NFL might not work out for me.
Okay, so the NFL skips on you, but you go to NFL Europe and you do CFL. How were those experiences?
Yeah, the CFL was cool. Obviously, it's not American football. The game's different. You're playing with 12 people. There's a bigger field. What you're seeing, what you're doing is different. So it wasn't really something I enjoyed as far as playing the game of football, because you have to kind of recalibrate how you play the game, how you see it as a quarterback, how you read defenses and things like that. So I wasn't really excited to be in the CFL. It just wasn't for me. And then when I went to Europe, I didn't know that existed and that was still going on. So once I went there, again, it was something that opened my whole mind to just playing football in a completely different place, a place I didn't know about again, a different culture. So yeah, that was amazing for me. And obviously I did it for many years and had my success, which obviously made it that much better. Playing the game. So yeah, no, it was definitely amazing. And obviously that experience was far better than what my experience was in the CFL, just because football made it that much better as well.
That's cool. Now, in your own opinion, do you think the NFL needs a minor league system, kind of like a baseball farming system or anything like that, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, if you think about all these great players and kids in college that you see and watch, and you think like, whatever happened to them, there's literally nothing. Nothing can happen for them because there's nowhere to go and play. There's no system where you can say, okay, we have the top league, but then we have a league that's like, we don't know if you can be in the top league. We don't know if you can handle that amount of money, that amount of attention, that level of play yet. So there needs to be something. And I feel like when there was a very seriously invested NFL and NFL Europe, you got NFL Hall of Famers from it. You got, the Dante Stallworths, the Kurt Warners, the guys like this that were coming from these places. So it's like, it's kind of a no-brainer to me that it should be there and it should exist. But yeah, I don't know, for some reason they just can't figure it out, or the NFL doesn't see benefit in it, which is kind of crazy to me. But I definitely feel like that system should exist. Okay,
now let's talk about your German football league. How and when does the German football league come into play in your life? Like, how does that? Yeah, like I didn't even, when I'm reading your story, I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, so I basically got out of the CFL, and so a player in the German football league who went to the CFL as well, who was kind of keeping notice of college kids who were getting cut that he thought would do well there. Mm-hmm. Contacted me and was like, hey, would you like to play in the German football league? I'm like, what, they have a football? I didn't even know they had a football team. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, could you send me some information or like something I can see on it? He was like, yeah, it probably won't be this year, but maybe the next year. I said, okay, yeah, cool. And then a quarterback got injured over there for a club that I ended up going to, and he literally called me back. The coach called me. He was like, hey, you want to come next week? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, football is what I love to do, and let's go try it out. So yeah, I went there, and then I never wanted to go back. That was a crazy thing. Like, after I won MVP, I won a championship, and like, this team had just come off being bad the year before. It was kind of like I was always thrown in these positions where, like, I went to high school. A high school team was like 2-7, and then we go to the playoffs for the first time when I get to it, when I finally played, for varsity football. And then like I went to JUCO, and then they were like 3-7. Then we go and we're number 3 in the country the year I get there. Then I go to Jackson State, they were like 3-7, and then suddenly we're competing for the SWAC championship. And then I go to this European team, and they won 3 games the year before, and now we go like 14-1. So it was just all the time I get to this team, and I bring what I bring to it, but I feel like all these pieces came together each and every time. And obviously being a quarterback, you have a lot of control over the success of your team. So this graphic right here. So that was just it was kind of crazy when I went there. And again, I just brought this level of mentality to that space, that in this league, that it was like, I want to go and dominate every game, even though you can kind of pace yourself in this league, because you do have them teams that are just down a little bit and you might be significantly better, but I never treated it like that. So yeah, I found a home there, and I found myself always going back there and liking it more and more. And then I ended up going back for 5-6 years and just absolutely having the time of my life.
I mean, the stats alone tell. I mean, this is like Madden. This is ridiculous. 2-time Euro Bowl champion, 2-time Euro Bowl MVP, 4-time German Bowl champion, 3-time. These are Jordan stats for your business. So, like, how is the pay? How is the lifestyle? How is the culture accepting of football? Because usually more things in Europe is the football on your foot, not more so American.
Yeah.
About the culture and things like that.
Yeah, no. So, like I said, I literally went there with the same mentality of just dominating every game, no matter who we're playing. And that was my mission. And like, obviously I did it very well, where I started getting recognized as like the best player to ever play in this league and come through this league, and articles about how it may be unfair for me to be in this league. And that was just gratifying, that like my mentality was being recognized, because I literally wanted to be considered dominating every game I went into. So obviously, like, these stats are great. And a lot of people don't understand, like, these I never played a full season until 2017. Like, these are like half season stats, or like 6-7 games are already into the season. Yeah. So like I said, I never wanted to go back. So I always said no. Then something happened, that like an injury, or like, hey, would you want to come back? And then midway through the season, I would show back up and just be like, all right, I got to dominate this season, because a lot of people might think I'm like out of it, or I didn't come. And that was just like, yeah. So, I never got tired of it. It was always fun. And obviously doing these kind of things, I have to give a lot of recognition to my teammates, my team, the organization, my coaches as well. Like, they just allowed me to be successful. And it was a time of my life.
So living overseas, how was that as a culture shock? The language barrier. How did you, was it like what's the movie, Loving Basketball, when they just told you to basketball to you? Like,
No, I mean, I think it's a great experience if you're open to it, but I think a lot of guys come and go quickly, because it is too much of a culture shock, and like, they might not feel comfortable in it and stuff. But this wasn't so much of a culture shock to me. A lot of these moments are funny to me, and it's just something that you can kind of laugh off, and like kind of just like chalk it up as like a once in a lifetime experience. And everything's paid for, so you don't have a lot of responsibility. It's kind of like going to college on a 4-year scholarship, but you get paid and you get to travel Europe pretty much anytime you want. And like, who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so I mean, the pay is cool when you first start there. You get like a base pay. You're not going to come home rich. You're not going to, come home and do whatever you want with your money. But if you work your way up and you do some, and you do some good things, and you're a good team guy, like, these organizations really care, because they get such a select few amount of Americans. They only get 2 Americans that play on each side of the field. So if you are going to be that, so if you are going to be that American, you have to be doing things on the football field that are obviously impacting the games a lot, but you have to be a great teammate and just a person that everybody gets along with, and like, that can teach the European guys to be better, and that everyone just meshes with. So I think the experience in whole just kind of teaches you to be that much better of a teammate, and you don't really got to manage money, but you do have to manage it in the sense of like, yo, you want to travel and do all these crazy things all the time. You want to go out and party in Europe and go all these places, but like chill a little bit, take it slow and pick and choose carefully, which experience that you do want to have. And then hopefully you don't get hurt, and you get to come back and keep doing it, and which I was fortunate enough to do.
That's what's up. That's cool. Man, listen, when I was like, I ain't even know Germans played American.
Yeah.
That's different. But you was over there killing it. Now let's get into the new JSU and the new SWAC. All right. Your all-time athlete, your all-time favorite athlete comes to your alma mater. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, at first it's like, okay, I know Jackson State and I know they're excited, but being inside of that, I'm very excited, but I know it doesn't matter if you don't win football games, right? Like, we do not care who you are, if you're not winning football games, this might just, this might not work out. So like,
it might not go good for you.
Yeah, no, but obviously it's extremely exciting. It's just the amount of attention, the amount of conversation that's happening for JSU, about the SWAC. I mean, obviously Dion is the guy for the job. I think he's the guy to push it to the next level. He pushes the envelope when it comes to equalizing the playing field inside the HBCU world, inside the SWAC, to the rest of college football, which I think should have been done a long time ago. But at least someone is now in our corner that people will listen to. And I think he's doing everything he can, which is amazing. And I just hope it unfolds as a positive experience for Jackson State. I know it will be a positive experience as far as the recognition and the attention we get, but for the kids at Jackson State, for the university, and for the culture of football itself, I just want to see us winning again.
That's what's up. Yeah, a lot of Jackson fans will feel the same way. They'll feel the same way now. Has anyone reached out to you to bring you back to campus? Just to kind of walk around, be like, bring some of the, how like the University of Miami do. Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, they all come back and support. Has JSU reached out to you for that?
No, I mean, they haven't, but I think that's one thing that I hope it's next, that there is a alumni kind of like brotherhood that like gets together all the alumni football players into maybe one big group somewhere somehow, maybe through like an email chain, that we do get sent the merchandise that comes out, or the team apparel, and we get a little package in the mail. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be really cool to stay connected and want to keep always bringing us back, and not just kind of leaving it on our own to come back and say, oh yeah, hey, I'm showing up. Who can I get in contact with to like get in the locker room and just like talk to the kids, or get on the field? Like, I wish maybe there's something created, and maybe that's the next phase of kind of what Dion's doing at Jackson State to make sure that the past football players are not necessarily forgotten, but that we do stay close to the university, and we are getting things kind of in return for just staying up with them. Staying up with them and being there once in point in time that ultimately led everybody else to being there.
That's facts. No, that's facts. Now, what were your thoughts on the spring games in the SWAC? If you caught a couple of them, what was your,
I did. I honestly watched every game that I could. I thought they were, I thought there was, I kind of feel like there was a lot of things that were held back, just because it was the spring season, and eligibility wasn't really lost. So I felt like there wasn't a lot that we wanted to show, that teams didn't want to show, as far as like what we're doing, who we got, how the offense and defense schemes are unfolding and things like that. So I enjoyed watching, Jackson State on ESPN and stuff like that. Like, that was just really cool, just to get so much airtime and to kind of have a spotlight, when not being so drawn out, or I'm sorry, so distracted from, like the big schools and stuff. So to be on TV, to see it, I just thought it was great to see him play. But I would have liked to see more, not talking so much about like, oh, let's wait till we see what we got next year, because the moment was now, and I would have liked to see that. But obviously it was great to watch them, and it gave me something to do and someone to cheer for on the weekends.
Now, you were a quarterback that, first of all, you was a player that knew nothing about the SWAC, came into the SWAC, dominated the SWAC. Now, what advice would you give new quarterbacks who are transferring in, the Kansas States, the, UTEP quarterbacks? A lot of SWAC quarterbacks are new power transfers. What advice would you give them in the SWAC, and, with your experience?
Yeah, so I would basically say what helped me was taking advice from people who have been there, and not just been there a couple years, but people who have been there for years and seen how it's all played out, and just know a lot about it, and just about that whole experience. Like, just really don't go in thinking that you know what you're talking about, or that how it's going to unfold, because you are new there and you don't know how any of this is going to go, and you don't know the rivalry, how deep it goes. Like just be open-minded, learn about those things. Learn about the history of it, because that helped me a lot, and it really brought me perspective going into the game week of each and every. It's like every week is a rivalry. It's not like, oh yeah, like Michigan versus Michigan State is like no, every week is a rivalry week. So you just really got to pay attention to it and really harness that. And I think that'll give you a little extra motivation if you need it to go out and be like, I'm gonna give everything I got, because I know how much this means to my school, my team, the city, the fans. So that helps.
All right. You said you watched a lot of games in the spring. Any quarterbacks you're ready to see in the SWAC that you like, hey, I got my eye on this kid, can't wait to see what he has?
Yeah, you know what? I started seeing a lot about the kid from Alabama State
or Alabama A&M.
Oh yeah, Alabama A&M. Kid from Alabama A&M. Yeah, yep. So I seen like 3/4 of the game for Jackson State this past spring. And then I started looking up his videos and stuff. So I'm excited to see this kid again. I thought this kid was playing really well at a high level. And I'm excited to see whoever starts for Jackson State, of course.
Okay. We all know who's starting, but okay. I like the political answer though.
Whoever is gonna start, I'm excited to see.
All right, hey, we coming down to the end, Casey. Real quick, somebody wanted me to ask you, how do you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, it's Therriault.
Therriault. Oh wow. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Casey Therriault. Yeah.
Therriault. All right, now you said it's French.
It's French.
Oh, okay. Oui. All right, so what should your fans and your future fans expect from you? Coaching, QB trainer, multimillionaire businessman doing NIL deals. What we doing? What we talking about?
Yeah, so I would like to coach one day. I don't really necessarily know when, how, or where, but as soon as I figure that out, that's going to be great for me to know as well. So. So I definitely want to coach. I don't know if it's going to be privately, just like quarterbacks, or maybe at the university level, possibly in Europe someday. But so long as I have that itch to play and I'm kind of figuring out things as far as like doing my own business ventures and stuff, that's probably not going to happen, just because that's like a full goal thing. But yeah, besides that, I'm just I'm doing my own business things, and probably, with the thought of playing still being on my mind, probably no coaching at least for the next couple of years.
I got a comment from the gallery. Says, ask him about the movie. Is there a movie coming out or anything about that?
Yeah, so there was a movie deal that I did a few years ago with Devon Franklin that kind of fell through when he was at Sony. But now I've signed another contract with a guy named Bobby Smith Jr. That he's been working on. It's such a long process with this whole studios and making movies, and plus COVID. So Hollywood's been down for a couple of years. So I think this kind of postponed everything, but possibly, maybe it's still coming out. It's still going to happen. It's just such a long process. So that'll be great if it does. But other than that, I did finish my book recently. So I do want to start pushing this. And this is more of, a movie is going to be great, but a movie is going to be kind of how Hollywood wants it to be. A book is all me from my perspective, telling my story the way I want to tell it, and just giving all the details.
Any release date? People listen. You got fans right now.
That's pressure right there. It's pressure. So no release date yet, but I think in the next 6 months to a year, it should be out full-fledged, hopefully. Hopefully not this coming football season, but next football season, I'll be able to be down in Jackson at all the games, doing books and stuff like that, and selling books and signing them. So that'll be good, and hopefully it'll be Deion's third year, which will be, usually it's the coach's best year. So I think maybe we can all get together and, like I said, put those puzzle pieces together and kind of bring it all together in 2022. So yeah, we'll see.
Man, listen, you can always come back on here and promote the hell out that Jay. I'll be right here by the book. All right, so we coming
exactly.
we coming down to the end, KZ. This last section is called this or that. I'm gonna give you 2 options. You pick the best option for yourself. All right.
All right.
2 easy. Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
All right. City or country?
City.
Okay. Text message or call?
Text message.
All right. Which would you rather throw, a post or a fade?
A post.
Man, y'all quarterbacks love them posts, boy. I tell you, everybody say they all pick posts. Now, this is a serious question. I need you to lock in.
Right.
Zaxby's or God's Chicken?
Chick-fil-A.
Come on, man.
You want to know why? It all started for me because in the JSU cafeteria, the Chick-fil-A was there, so it was just something. It's close to my heart. I had it like 3 times a week, so it started with me there. It's always Chick-fil-A.
All right, now who would you rather beat, Alcorn or Southern?
Man, that's brutal. I really don't want to be either of them. I would have to say.
Oh, I said beat.
Oh, B. I thought you said B. Like if I had to choose between who would I be, I was like,
nah, beat. Like if you had to choose.
Beat. Who would I rather be? Oh, Southern for sure. Southern.
All right. Early bird or night owl?
I'm a night owl.
NFL Europe or Germany Football League?
German Football League. That was me.
All right. Apple or Android?
Apple.
All right. And last one, who do you have in the NBA Finals, Suns or Bucks?
Honestly, I haven't even been watching and paying attention, but I know, I kind of feel like Chris Paul may deserve a title, so I'm gonna go with the Suns.
That's what's up. Now, hey, Casey, I appreciate you, my guy, coming through on the channel. This is your time. Say what you got to do. Talk to the people. They all 156 people on here. Just
there we go.
Into you, it's all on you, my guy.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody who supported me, and gave me this opportunity in Jackson. All the fans there who always continue to show support. I appreciate it. All the comments and all the messages I always get. I always appreciate that. Always my teammates, I never get to talk to them or per se. I appreciate being welcomed with open arms. It made me comfortable. It made me confident to do the things that I did there. Obviously, my parents, my family, I appreciate you for this interview and everything in the future to come. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And I just want to, always stay close and pay attention to what's going on at Jackson and Jackson State. So I hope you're always paying attention to me too. And it's been a journey. It's been a ride, and we continue to be one.
Listen, if you want to get rich, just do a QB camp in Jackson.
Yeah.
Do a QB camp in Jackson. Everybody and their mama gonna come out and listen. Bam.
Eventually, I'm doing a tour and I'm stopping through every major city I can, in Jackson twice.
That's what's up. Hey, Casey, appreciate you for coming out, my guy. Anytime you want to come on the channel, you are more than welcome. I thank you for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. That was the legendary Casey, White Tiger, Therriault. You know what I'm saying? See, I said it all right, man. I'm getting it. All right. So, hey, listen, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Listen, I told you right after this, I will be doing an interview on the Shador interview. So make sure y'all tune in, stay tuned for that. And we're going to talk about that. All right. So until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.